everybody on the internet. So of course, recently James Gunn revealed part of the new DCU Slate, Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. And it is really not what anyone expected, but not making obvious choices is the best thing to do. There are some very obscure things which I'm not really excited for, but we shouldn't be surprised because James Gunn made Guardians of the Galaxy. But I am really excited for a lot of this. James Gunn and Peter Safran already seem to be doing a good job at DC. They finally have people in charge who know what they're doing. They finally have a plan and are building up to a big story. This is what WB should have been doing since the start. Not to copy Marvel, but to develop characters and allow something like a Justice League team-up to actually work. And they still aren't copying Marvel. I like that DC do have a universe that is connected, but then they have a lot of Elseworld stuff like the Batman still going on. Now with the slate itself, I am not interested in Warlock, Creature Commandos, or Swamp Thing. And the Authority, I'm not excited for, but I'm sure it could be good, because the Guardians of the Galaxy were once as obscure as something like this, and now they're fully mainstream. But I'm very interested in Superman Legacy, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, The Brave and the Bold, Paradise Lost, Lanterns, and Booster Gold. There is so much potential here, so I'm going to talk about movies and shows that I want to see in the DCU. The first one is a Green Arrow and Black Canary movie. Oliver Queen and Dinah Lance are one of the best relationships in comics. The Arrow show not only turned Green Arrow into Batman, but also ruined and completely wasted Black Canary. We've only gotten good versions of these two in cartoons and games. A comic accurate movie would finally do this duo justice in live action. The DCU honestly needs these characters. They would make for a very fun and compelling movie. Green Arrow is an archer and Black Canary is a metahuman, so I feel this would really help flesh out the DCU. James Gunn said that The Brave and the Bold is the beginning of the DCU's Bat family. So we're jumping right into a fully established Batman who is old enough to have a son. I have one thing about this movie though. Damian Wayne is my least favourite Robin. Not that he's a bad character, it's just there has never been a likeable version of him in anything. But maybe this movie could change that. And we're finally going to get a good Batman and Robin movie. Since this is a fully established Batman, and since Damian is around, that must mean that Nightwing, Batgirl and Red Hood are out there. So 100%, they need to do a Bat family show. It could also work as a movie, but I think a show would be better. This is the chance to give us a good live-action Bat family and deeply explore Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood and Robin and their relationship with Batman. Give each character the spotlight at different times. Those are some of my favourite characters ever. I'm so excited about this idea. The Lantern show will have Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart discover a terrifying mystery that ties into the larger story of the DCU. Since this chapter is called Gods and Monsters, and since this is about Green Lanterns and ties into a big story, I can't help but think that what if this is leading to Blackest Night? So I want a Blackest Night movie. Now that is a massive scale, dark, high stakes story arc. So it would have to be more of an ensemble movie, and maybe it could even be the end of the chapter. It would also just be so sick to see characters become Black Lanterns in live action. Paradise Lost is of course going to be about the beginning of the Amazons, and that time period is the peak of Gods and Monsters, so I can imagine this show is probably going to be pretty important. So you need to follow that up with another Wonder Woman movie. I am glad that Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 is not happening. But if Gal Gadot is staying around as Wonder Woman, that's fine. I don't know what the title of this could be, but I could imagine that Wonder Woman would be one of the earlier installments of the DCU, because she is one of DC's top 3 most important characters. A movie I've always wanted is Shazam! Rise of Black Adam. I really hope Shazam continues after Fury of the Gods, because he's done perfectly. And James said this.
First, we have Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Shazam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well.
I don't exactly know what he means there, but Shazam could easily be put into this continuity. I thought the Black Adam movie was cool, but of course it failed at the box office. And Dwayne Johnson apparently rustled too many feathers at Warner Brothers trying to get what he wants. So I don't think we'll see him as Black Adam again. If they recast Black Adam and do another Black Adam story in a third Shazam, I would like that. Because we just need to see Shazam and Black Adam together on screen. And they also have to follow up on the mid-credit scene from the first movie and have Mr. Mind show up. And if this is going to happen, they better do it soon because the kids are growing up. A character I really want to see done justice is Hawkgirl. So I think there should be a show called The Hawks about Hawkgirl and Hawkman on Thanagar, and then they come to Earth and later join the Justice League. Or at least Hawkgirl does. Hawkgirl was done awesomely in the Justice League cartoons, so I want to see that character quality given to her in live action. And speaking of Justice League cartoons, we need to finally get a good Justice League movie that can compete with the Avengers at the box office one day. And I'm sure James and Peter want to do that, but they're definitely taking their time with it. I love Justice League and Justice League Unlimited so much. They are the best shows ever. James was asked if DC animated shows like Justice League are an inspiration for the DCU, and he said yes. So a Justice League Unlimited movie would be perfect. And if we get the roster from the cartoons or a roster similar to it, I will freak out. And like I said earlier, they aren't making obvious choices with the DCU. But one obvious choice that they do have to make is Darkseid. They need to do Darkseid eventually. So I want a movie called Justice League: The Darkseid War. This could be the DCU's Infinity War in a later chapter towards the end. We need to see the Justice League face the greatest villain in DC Comics eventually. It is a must. And finally, I think a lot of people want a Kingdom Come movie. This has been highly requested to be turned into an animated movie, but that hasn't happened. So, doing it as a live action movie would be perfect. This honestly seems like something that James would want to adapt. Since Kingdom Come is in the future and is about older versions of these heroes, I think it should be the final installment of the DCU. Just imagine that after spending years with these characters, to then see them grow old and become more broken would be so compelling. Though I hope they make it a little less depressing and kill less characters. And seeing the Alex Ross character designs in live action would be so cool. So those are my ideal DC movies and shows I want to see in the DCU. Whatever they end up doing though should be good. I've never felt so good about DC. I am excited for the future.
I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us.
So, what do you think of the DCU Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters slate? What characters and projects do you want to see in the future? Let me know in the comments below, and may the Force be with you.